Hey everybody, I've got another podcasting tip for everybody using the GoXLR mixer. I posted my video on how I use my GoXLR mixer in podcasting yesterday. You can find it right up there. But no sooner did I post that video than on the official Helicon Gaming Discord server, they said, hey, here's the update for the brand new for the software for the GoXLR. So I read over it and I was like, oh man, there are a lot of really big changes, a lot of exciting changes, because if you use this mixer as a podcaster, this is going to change the way that you do things, I think, especially if you are a remote podcaster, somebody who does not get together with people all in one room and record your discussion that way. In fact, if you're podcasting that way, where you've got multiple microphones in a room and you're talking to a bunch of people, then I would not recommend the GoXLR for that. I would recommend something that has more XLR inputs, because the GoXLR has one XLR input. In fact, that's probably my biggest gripe with it, is that it only has one input. That being said, maybe sometime down the road they'll put out a GoXLR Pro that has a bunch of different XLR inputs, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the software and how the software changed yesterday. And yesterday's video is still perfectly valid. It goes through all of the things that I do to record my show live using the mixer. But this is more of like a back end kind of thing that is going to help if you are recording with other people over the internet. So now that we've got all that out of the way, let's talk about exactly what the big change is. And there's a lot of big changes that has happened with the GoXLR mixer, but the big change is their ASIO Stem Recording support. So if you don't know what that is, then you're not alone. I have no idea what ASIO is. I know that it allows me to set my microphone as the input on my digital audio workstation. All right, so let's talk about my digital audio workstation real quick. I use Reaper as my digital audio workstation. You can use, short would be a DAW, is what we call them. You could use Audacity or Adobe, whatever. I don't know. There's a lot of different things that you could use as your recording software, basically. In your recording software, you can click right here. And before, if I was going to select my GoXLR, I would just select my broadcast stream left and broadcast stream right under stereo, and that's what is recording now. This is how I used to do it. When I do it this way, every sound goes into one single channel. So if I play some sound effects, that sound effect gets played on this channel. You can see it as this little green area right here. If I play some music, you can see the music is starting to come up right here. Of course, I'm talking over it now. Let me shut that off. So everything gets brought into this one channel. That means if I am using Skype or Discord or TeamSpeak or whatever voice software that you're using, maybe it's Zoom or Google Hangouts, the whoever you're talking to on the other end, their voice is going to be in here as well. Now, why is that a big deal? It's a big deal for two reasons. Number one, it makes it very hard to edit for audio quality. And that's really the only editing that I ever do, is editing for audio quality. I don't edit for content. So I always leaves in my ums and my ahs and things like that, and where I stammer over something, because I feel like it sounds more authentic. Editing for audio quality, however, is very important to do. So for instance, if the person that you're talking to over the internet has like this a lot of noise in the background, you can go in and edit that noise out. But if your voice and their voice are on the same channel, now it makes it really difficult for you to edit just their stuff. All right. It makes it very, very difficult for you to edit just your stuff. And yesterday's update to the GoXLR app on Windows is huge, because now it lets you take all of the inputs that are on your GoXLR and outputs, for crying out loud, and it lets you put them all as separate tracks in your digital audio workstation because of the ASIO support. Let's take a look at what they actually say. This is their official Discord server, and this is the update right here. It says we've added 23 channels of pre-fader ASIO stem support. Stem support will allow for multi-track capturing of all audio coming in and out of the GoXLR, including physical inputs like the optical input and a dry mic channel for easy post-production of streams, podcasts, and videos. So I wasn't even sure what a dry mic is, but a dry mic means that it's not using any of the stuff here, if I go into my microphone, so I've got a noise gate here, I've got an equalizer, I've got a compressor, I've got a de-esser. All of these things are working to make my voice sound a certain way, which is great, okay? But a dry mic I can record my dry mic without all that stuff separately, and I can record what they call the wet mic on its own channel as well. So not only am I recording myself with all of this stuff enabled, but I can also at the same time record myself with all of this stuff disabled. What else does this update do? Well, the mic, the chat, the music, the game, the console, the line in, the system, the samples, all can now be on their own channels in your digital audio workstation, which is insane. So how does this work? Let me show you. First off, you just have to update to the latest version, which is system, and then I'm using firmware 1.3.6.58. So you got to make sure that that's the firmware that you are using. All right, let me shut off my recording here because I don't need that stuff. And I'm going to open up a new, well, actually, I'll show you how to do it yourself. So I'm going to delete that track, and I'm going to insert a new track, okay? Now, here's my new track. This is using Reaper, by the way. You can use, directions will be similar, but not exactly the same in whatever your digital audio workstation is. So actually, let's start it from scratch. In Reaper, what you're going to have to do is you come up here on the right-hand side. See where my mouse is? You click on this, and it's going to open up your settings, okay? I'm going to, you want to make sure you have audio system selected as ASIO. The ASIO driver is the GoXLR ASIO driver. And then enable inputs and set your first to be broadcast stream L and your last to be GoXLR 23 dry mic. And then you just hit OK. And now I'm going to insert a new track. And right here, you pick which track do you want, or which input or output do you want this track to listen to. So for instance, I will say input stereo, and we'll say that I want my microphone. And I want all of my EQ and de-essing and stuff on it. So I'm going to go for the wet mic L and wet mic R. And now I'll activate that. And you can see that every time I talk, the little yellow thing is going up and down. Now let's add another track. So now I've got another track. And this time I'm going to have it just capture the sampler. Sample L, sample R. So now I'm going to activate this, and you can see that it's not going up and down. The little yellow thing is not going up and down when I talk. However, if I press the button on the sampler, you can see that it's starting to go. Now, how is this useful? Let me explain how this is useful. I'm going to start recording. I should probably actually, hold on. Let's stop, delete. Okay. And we'll go back to the beginning. Here we go. So now I'm recording. And you can see that my voice is going into this track up here, And if I hit my sampler,
Give a man
it's
an
going
Atari
to be
game and
playing
he'll turn into
on
a
the
little
track
boy.
below.
But don't
I don't
worry,
know
he'll
how
be
much you
grown
guys
up enough
can
to
hear
share it.
the sampler. I'm going to shut that off. So as you can see that it like my voice is on the top track and my sampler is on the bottom track. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. And we will, I don't know if I can do this while it's recording. I'll insert, yeah, okay, it's working. I'm gonna put another track, actually, let's just stop it. Delete all, okay. Now I've got another track on here. Let's say that I'm interviewing somebody. I just come down to input stereo and I'm gonna go down to GoXLR chat L, GoXLR chat R. So now when I'm talking, it goes on to this channel up here. When my guest is talking, it goes into this channel here. So now when I edit this in post, I can do all of the equalization and stuff like that I need to do on their voice to make their voice sound the best on my podcast without screwing up my voice, because mine is already working the way that I want. If I did anything, it would affect both voices. If you realize afterwards that you were at a certain level and your guest was at a different level, like maybe they were too quiet or too loud, you can adjust that in post without having to adjust every single time that they talk. You just do it to their whole track. This is huge for podcasters. But you can, I mean, it doesn't stop there. You can also insert another track and you can say, all right, well, now I'm going to put my my system, my system, if I could just find it. Here it is, GoXLR, System L, System R. So now if Windows is making some sounds, it's going to be playing on that track. So let me bring up something that will make a sound. Actually, yeah, let's switch this over to music just so you can see how it works. Music, LR, okay. Oh, it was already playing. I didn't realize. Gosh, I hope it hasn't been going for the whole video. I'll have to do this whole thing all over again. Well, anyway, so you can, I'm playing some music on the pretzel player here, and that music is being pumped into this section over here. So that's a quick update for how you're going to be able to use the GoXLR in order to record your podcast at multi-track. This is a huge change, and this is definitely something that I would recommend for any podcaster who does not record their podcast in a room with a bunch of other people where you need a bunch of microphones. If you're doing your podcast either solo or over the internet, then this is the mixer that I would recommend 100%. The features are just amazing. Their customer support is fantastic. If you join their Discord community, there's always somebody in there to answer your questions. It's really responsive, and obviously they are taking people's requests for features to heart and improving upon what is already a fantastic product. And if you're going to do a podcast and you can, it's expensive. It's $400, but I feel like it's worth it for not only the time that it saves me, but the quality of the product that I can put out because of this device. Now, anyway, that's the GoXLR. If you're going to buy one, there's a link in the description down below that you can use to support the channel. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.